Namaste, and welcome to my new soul horoscope, SUPERscope. My name is Christopher Raymond Witecki. I'm a soul biographer, and I'm also a modern mystic. I'm a person who's kind of here to help people connect to their spirituality and connect to their personal story. This is a soul horoscope or a SUPERscope for the Cancers, actually, and the Cancers of the Earth, or Cancer risings. And Cancers are what I call a step 2. I'm a step astrologer. I believe in talking about the steps of astrology. And Cancers are the second step in life, which is to feel things. One of the second states of awareness. The second state of awareness that we have is the ability to feel. That's what makes us really unique as individuals. And when you're a Cancer, you are a person that lives in that feeling and lives by that feeling. And so I'm here to help you feel better, basically, if you want to look at it that way. And really, we're at an interesting time for the crabs, because this is the first time for 250 years or so that the Cancers have taken a new type of liberty for themselves. That's the last time they took liberty for themselves, was actually during the American Revolution, believe it or not. During the American Revolution, Cancers and Cancer risings at the time were fighting for their ability to marry who they want. And we are coming from a long tradition of arranged marriages. And in fact, most of our forefathers got their wealth, if you'll read about them, marrying widows. So once again, women and Cancers particularly tend to have the power through marriage and partnership, right? And even Cancer men, I would imagine, you would see the same lineage as well. But it's interesting how the men went toward the women. I should see what signs they were too. But in that time and now, it's not that you were taking the right to get married or choose who you want to choose. We're way past that. 250 years later, now that Pluto comes into Capricorn again, the Cancers are really looking at marriage and partnership from a new perspective. For one, a lot of it has to do with the woman, honestly, because the Cancer woman is that nature of a person who is giving and nurturing and helping someone grow. And society has, frankly, taken advantage of that. Society has not respected that. Society has not respected the image of a nurse. Society has not respected the image, these images that Cancers have been so gracious to give. So I kind of think it's time for Cancer women and Cancer men in the sense that you're a very passionate and emotional male, that you reinvent the way you relate to the world. Like the world, the way you want to be seen by the world. Maybe you're not the world's caretaker. Maybe you're not the world's nurse. Maybe you're not the world's these things. And I bring up these terms because I, frankly, am going to the clients I have. And there's not that there's anything wrong with these caretakers. You know that. It's the issue is that the world hasn't taken care of you. So with the Sun in Capricorn, the major issue is that you have to be there for yourself. This is what is revolutionary for Cancers in world history everywhere, male or female, in relationships. And this month is the month, this week is the week where I think Cancers make a turning point. All right. Now, opposing that is your strength. Jupiter has moved into Cancer as of last July. So you have been really working to expand your growth, expand your ego, expand your strength, expand your abilities, let go of old wars, that sort of thing. So this is really the last stitch of this new transformation or stepping into your power. The last stitch is that you are going to change the way you relate to yourself and therefore change the way you relate to everyone on the planet. And this might even be, you might even say that the reason why there's going to be a new age is because the Cancers decide to just go, you know what, guys, you do it. I've got something else to do. I know I'm turning into a baby. So let's look at this week and what's going to happen. This is a good segue. Looking at this week, you're coming out of the moon in Pisces on Sunday and Monday, and so emotions are theoretical, philosophical, explorative, and you're not sure what's up. And at the same time, what are you making decisions about? Well, you're making decisions about how or who you want to relate to, but again, you're making decisions on how you relate to yourself, and that's what this is here. It's like there's a major quantum decision, and it's a different decision in how you relate to yourself. That's what's different. Got to bring up that rainforest again. So on Sunday and Monday, you are breaking through and saying, maybe some new decisions about how I relate to myself. Then Monday, Tuesday, maybe you find that peaceful side of you, and spirit helps as well. And then it's really by Wednesday that we have to make a decision, and that decision for you is, probably a relationship decision. Some Cancers out there probably deciding to get married or divorced, or to join a partnership or end a partnership, or leave a union or join a union. You might literally be making that decision, but underneath that decision is a decision on how you intend to, talk to yourself and treat yourself. So this is what happens. And then at the end of the week, you're loving and trusting that this is the right decision. Now, this whole time is that decision starts with theory, but then when you're actually making it, you're very focused on career, Tuesday and Wednesday, and then you're very focused on your reputation, Thursday and Friday, and then by Saturday, you are going inward. You're going to want to go inward, and that's basically how this week works out for you. Now, let's look at consciousness itself, shall we? This is something I want to show you, something really kind of cool. Now, consciousness is basically just consciousness stacked on top of consciousness stacked on top of consciousness. And really, that's just the idea of it on top of the idea of it on top of the idea of it, because we're talking about consciousness. So for Cancers, notice this, that you're in a step of I feel. Cancers are always like one step next to the baby. What's the baby? I love. Whatever you love on earth is the baby. And so I feel is just one step past the baby of I love. So in the orders of manifestation is 0, I protect, 1, I love, 2, I feel. So Cancers are always feeling everything off of the baby I love. And this is like Father, Son, Holy Ghost, kind of first 3 energies of the planet. I think the Holy Ghost is I protect in this sense. I mean, you can always see these types of weird triads in everything in consciousness, but the point is this, is that even though you like to live in step 2, you yourself, Cancers, need to live in I love. I love myself and I protect myself before you allow yourself to feel others. And to me, this is the basic nature and order of consciousness, and this is where Cancers can simply be confused. They're so close to the baby, I love, that they can sometimes get wrapped up in their own feelings, your own feelings, instead of your own heart. And that's because you have such great feelings for other people, and that's because you have such a big heart for other people. Right? All right, so I'm going to give you some steps to walk you through the week, and I'm going to give you a nice little model here on, I believe, on how to kind of maintain neutrality with yourself, and it's called Powered by PLUR, okay? PLUR is peace, love, unity, and respect, and this is a phrase going around with the young kids these days, and this is something worth knowing, but this is something that I'm just going to use to hang our own sanity on, basically, when I do the horoscopes, and this is where I'm actually going to help you through the week. So moving through the week, the first thing we want to maintain, of course, is our inner peace. Now for Cancers, to maintain the inner peace will mean that you will receive outer peace, and that's how this inner-outer verse sort of thing works. The inner peace for the crabs really comes from a decision. You have to make a decision, 2 decisions. 1, what does your heart deserve? Part of the reason why you're having inner peace issues is because your inner child, Saturn and Scorpio, is helping Cancers come to their personal dreams, which means that their marriage is probably not there, or haven't seen it yet, or it hasn't reached its potential. Okay, I don't care who you are on Earth looking at the planets, even if you've been married 40 years as a Cancer, I'm thinking now is the time to step it up. Okay, so with this said, this is about your inner verse can be at peace if you know that you're not going to let your heart down. Your inner verse can be at peace if you know you're going to not let yourself in the wrong relationship. And if you just promise yourself that you won't let yourself down and you won't let yourself be in the wrong relationship, then you can look at anything with honesty. All right. Now, the other thing is Uranus and Aries. There's this change of who you are becoming when it comes to your future. You had seen yourself in a certain type of future, but I don't know if in the past you were honoring your inner child and if you were honoring, all the other things you want going on. So part of the resistance for Cancers or what shakes up the inner verse is their outer verse. A lot of Cancers worried about what's going to happen to their future if they make new changes here in the moment, that they're not happy now in the moment, that their inner verse isn't at peace now in the moment. And so you're letting your outer verse rule your inner verse, and that, of course, is backwards, right? Now, that said, love. So we have peace, love. Where is the inner verse and where is the love? So, I can kind of repeat myself, but moving into the love, if Cancers really focus on taking care of their own feelings first, and that's Saturn and Scorpio, drawing lines for yourself and taking care of your own inner child, your own inner heart, which means if you're not happy and no one's doing anything about it, you have to. You know what I'm saying? And then once you do, that's where the relationships have to change. And this allows you to be the right kind of strong, because you're being strong not for argument's sake, you're not being strong for fighting's sake, you're not being strong for ego's sake, all the things maybe accusers want to say you of. You're being strong because your inner child's unhappy, introverse, and it's not getting the love it wants. So if we demand peace, if we demand love for ourselves, just demanding peace and love for ourselves demands it from the world by the inner-verse, outer-verse model. And so once you have demanded it, well then go ahead and love yourself. Go ahead and give to yourself. Go ahead and give to yourself whether or not there's a family or a person or a partner there to share it with. Go ahead and let that soul capital bank get overfloweth, with the cuppeth get overfloweth, right? And this is just from self-ritual and loving too. So I'm looking for the right key here. Here it is. Bum, bum. Unity. Now unity is pretty groovy because peace, love, unity. Unity is our ability to stay unified within ourselves, our united states of awareness, for all 12 of those steps to work as one foot. Boom. Right? And that's what all those steps are. All those steps that you saw going up into heaven, so to speak, the staircase, stairwell to heaven, is ultimately comes together as one solid footprint on earth. That's our foot, those 12 steps. And so the unity is working as one within ourselves, not fighting ourselves. And in some cases, I think with the cancers, your future is fighting your present, right? And it's like, hey, the future really has no gain on the present. Like, it can't say anything about the present. The future has to just shut up. We'll get to you in the future, right? This is Uranus in the 10th house for the sun sign cancers and cancer risings. And directly opposing this is this desire to feel stable. So you want to feel stable now. You want to feel emotionally grounded now. You want to have a family and everything now, right? So this is where you have to be willing to be flexible in how you see yourself in the future. But I don't think you'll have a problem being flexible in how you see yourself in the future, once again, if you really honor your inner child. So I think honoring your inner child lets these other parts of you let go, and that allows you to stand in unity with yourself. And by the way, when you're in unity with yourself, then you will find in the outer world that people come to you who are in unity themselves. And when both parties are in unity, you can be in a union. But if one of the two parties is not in unity, one of you, it should not happen, because that will pull the other into disunity. You know what I mean? You kind of get what you give. And then finally, respect, right? You give what you give, and we're talking about respect, right? Respect. Look at the little circles of light here in this slide, because respect is about honoring those little circles, those little boundaries. All right? Now, boundaries are not real. Boundaries are imagination. When your parents say, stay within this block, they've given you a circle to stay within. If they stay within the city block, you have to, and, you know, that's where you need to like ride your bike. When my mom was a kid, she would say, ride your bike, but stay on the city block. Well, that was a circle boundary. We could go around the block, but we had to stay in this circle. That was a circle of protection. We knew if we crossed outside that circle, we'd be in trouble. Mom knew if she couldn't find us in the circle, there would be trouble. A circle is imaginary, right? But it still stands as power between the people who honor that circle and respect that circle. So the question is, in the inner verse of cancers, where are you, if at all, honoring your own, you know, respecting your own boundaries? Did you tell yourself that if he cheated on you again, you wouldn't tolerate it? Because if you tolerated it, you didn't respect your circle, not respected. What happens when you don't respect your circle is no one respects your circles either. Everyone just thinks that they're just pretty colors you can walk through. And unfortunately, we have to give power. And, you know, like when you're a kid and you pretend like, wow, look at that, with imaginary people. That's kind of the way it is with boundaries, you know. People who are good with boundaries. You know, Capricorn's your opposite sign. I'm going to have to, you know, can't go over on. But Capricorn, your opposite sign. It's so funny. But what they do is they cross their arms kind of energetically and force people to, like, honor some invisible circle. It's like, you know, you shouldn't even talk to them sometimes. You're like, hey, are you busy? When you go to a Capricorn. And that's because they've got this invisible circle of like, stay back, and it like puts it out. Well, Cancers are the opposite. They're like, come here, give me a hug. Cancers are like, got this come in energy, but you got to think of it this way: come into my circle, because I give you permission to come into my circle, right? But you have to think of this circle now, all right? And a lot of the Cancer issues is Pluto in the house of relationships, which is issues with maintaining and respecting your own circle. So to bring it back to peace, love, unity, and respect, right? You want to stay in peace this week. You want to love yourself. You want to stay in inner unity, and you want to stay in inner respect. And if you do that, I believe that you will find that the world also copies you. See if I'm right. Now, as we wrap up here, Soul Mart, couple of things you should know. One is I have monthly prediction horoscopes called the Megascopes. Those are $11.11, and you can get a whole month in prediction at soulmart.me if you want. It's different from this horoscope. It looks at things day by day, play by play. Also, some people want to have readings with me. Now's a good time. I'm booking for the month of February, and it's $99 for an hour. And you get 15 minutes free if you buy now. So free means you can use it the rest of the year. It's a follow-up, so if you want to check back and see what's going on. And then finally, my favorite thing that I want to advertise is this new service called GA Venus. You know, I've done this guardian agency with text messages where I'm there coaching people. Well, I am releasing a new edition of this just for women. And for those of you who knew Soul Garden once before, all of our practitioners, all of our talent spiritually is going to be channeling towards helping women. And that's because I believe that if we help women, women will help men. But I don't necessarily believe if we focus on more men, we're going to help women. So guys will definitely always be of service to you. But we're going to actually specifically focus on empowering the woman in 2014. And GA Venus is the first thing I'm doing. So that said, you can get a free week that starts of service to try it out as a woman or a girl, and that come on down to gavenus.com and fill out a thing, and you can watch and do a trial for a week and see what you think and give us feedback. That's cool. All right, so come on down to soulmart.me. Come on down again to this BAT channel for next week, and I will be back in 7 days in this happy new year. Until then, my friend, live, love, be.